A while ago, Insta360 reached out to me to see if I could test their new camera, the Insta360 X3, to see if it's any good for hiking. And I know it's going to sound pretty bold, but after testing it for 2 months, I think that currently this is the best action camera for filming stuff outdoors. And let me tell you why. The main idea behind it is that it has a 360-degree camera. It's able to do this by having a very wide lens on each side and then automatically stitching it all together in post. It also deletes the camera body and the selfie stick from the video so that in the end you get a clean 360 video from all sides. The main problem with normal action cameras and DSLRs is that I always have to frame the shot perfectly. Otherwise it doesn't end up looking the way that I want it to look. So you can just hold the camera in front of you and later when editing you can rotate it so that it faces towards you, away from you, or in any other direction. The most common shot that I'm making with this camera is by holding it in front of me and then talking to the camera as I'm walking. The footage is automatically stabilized, so I don't really have to worry about holding it very steadily in my arm. And in my opinion, the footage just looks good. You can also extend the invisible selfie stick and hold it in front of you, or move it around. Or you could even take it over your shoulder to the back to create these cool third-person shots. In my opinion, it's really useful if you want to show the conditions of the trail or if you want to show the surrounding views in general. You can also use it as a regular camera by putting it on a tripod and then putting it on the ground and walking past it. The main difference here is that later when editing, you can rotate the camera so that it looks like someone is moving the camera as you walk past it. By setting it up on a tripod, you can also create a moving time-lapse with it. Again, I want to emphasize that this is achieved without any fancy equipment. It's all done in post just by changing the angle of the shot slightly within a few seconds. If you hold the camera steady in front of you and then continue walking like that for about 1 minute, then you can speed it all up in post and create a very cool looking hyperlapse. Another cool feature of the X3 is the POV shots. Simply put the camera in your mouth and continue walking as normally. Or you can also put it on the invisible selfie stick and then put it inside your backpack. I've found it to be really useful for showcasing the steepest and the most dangerous parts of the trail. You might have already seen this on your Instagram feed because it's pretty popular now, but you can create amazing drone-like shots without using a drone. You can do it with the 3-meter long extended selfie stick. Simply put the camera on the end, extend it to the maximum, and then walk around while holding the extended selfie stick in your hand. And lastly, when you reach the top, you can connect the tripod to the invisible selfie stick and create a bullet time shot. This is a very unique and cool shot that shows a perspective of the surrounding area. The camera itself is pretty small and it easily fits in your pocket. It's also waterproof in up to 10 meters of depth, which is really useful for the outdoors because you don't have to worry about it getting wet when you're filming in rain. You should always shoot in 5.7K quality if you want the best possible footage. Now, 5.7K sounds like a lot, and it actually is. For example, my DSLR can only shoot in up to 4K quality. The difference here is that the 5.7K resolution is spread out over all of the 360 degrees. So later when editing the video, when you're cutting it down smaller, the end quality actually isn't 5.7K, it's much smaller. In good light conditions, the shots coming out from the X3 come out very crisp. It only starts to struggle a bit in low light conditions, but even then I would say that the footage still looks pretty good. When shooting a time-lapse, it's even able to shoot in 8K quality, so the time-lapses end up very high-end. It has a built-in microphone that sounds pretty good if you aren't filming in very windy conditions like I am right now. But just like with any camera, the audio from the built-in microphone becomes pretty bad if you film it on exposed ridges with a lot of wind. It's getting pretty windy. So if you want to be recording audio in places like that, I would advise getting a lavalier microphone with a dead cat windscreen. It comes in many different kits, and I would say that for hiking, the best one to get is the Bullet Time kit, which I've linked out to in the video description. It comes with the camera itself, a lens cap, a small tripod, and a 1.2 meter long invisible selfie stick. You do have to protect the lenses from getting scratched, otherwise it will eventually start to show up in your footage. So whenever you aren't shooting, always put on a lens cap with a microfiber cloth in it. This will keep the lenses protected and clean of any fingerprints. With the tripod, you can add static shots, time lapses, and bullet time shots, which is really good for adding some variety to your videos. But most of the shots will be filmed with the invisible selfie stick because you can talk to the camera that way and also extend it all the way up to create those cool third-person shots. You can also screw the selfie stick on the tripod to get it further up from the ground, which is good for shooting time lapses. In total, the kit weighs 532 grams, with the camera weighing 218 grams, the tripod 190 grams, and the selfie stick 127 grams. But if you want to film those sick drone shots, then you'll also need to get the extended selfie stick, which adds another 362 grams. I also want to show you how the editing process looks like, because this is where most of the magic happens. You can edit your videos in the Insta360 app on your laptop or on your phone. This is really good news for THRU-HIKING because it means that you don't need any access to a laptop and you can do it all on your phone. To begin, you need to connect your camera to your laptop or your phone to import all of the footage. When you open up the editing window, you can rotate the main view using your mouse. When you find a frame that looks good, add a keyframe and it will show up in the timeline. Within the keyframe, you can change the depth of the shot, and I found that the default or the ultra-wide setting usually works best in most types of situations. Then fast forward a bit further and add another keyframe with a different angle. Now drag the timeline closer to the keyframes and play back your shot. I think where it really shines is the image stabilization. Here I just held the selfie stick in front of me without paying too much attention, and there is pretty much no visible camera shake. If you want yourself in the center of the shot, an even easier way is to use the deep track feature. Simply drag it over yourself, wait until it processes it, and in the final footage, you will always be in the center of the shot, even if you're moving the selfie stick. When you're done, simply export the file, and then you can import it to Premiere Pro or any other editing software, and edit it just like any other regular footage. Although this video is sponsored by Insta360, I really do think that this camera is an amazing tool for hikers who want to document their own experiences. It's super small and lightweight, you can create all kinds of amazing footage with it, and it's very easy to use. Simply point the camera in any direction, and you don't even need to worry about framing the shot or holding it very steady, because it's all done in post when editing. Now obviously you won't be shooting those Craig Adams style videos with this camera. If you prefer those static shots, then a classic DSLR is definitely the way to go. But even if you're using a DSLR as your main camera, the X3 is a really great addition to your kit. That's because it does a much better job at capturing those creative shots that you do while hiking, or if you want to talk to the camera while you're hiking. After all, it is an action camera, and for that purpose specifically, I think it is currently the best option on the market. When I first received it, I was genuinely shocked at what kind of creative shots this little thing could do. You can purchase it by clicking the link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!